Jordi, for this team as a group, the way that the first quarter started, especially from downtown, things just kind of opened up for you guys after going 4-14. What changed specifically from that three-point shot for you guys?
Yeah, just, trust the shot, keep shooting and keep taking the right shots. I think when you shoot the right ones and they don't go in, I think one example of it was Tyson. Tyson's a very good shooter. He, starts shooting, the ball's not going in, but he kept trusting his shot, and then he made 3 in the second half. So that's how we want to play. End up shooting almost 43% from 3 out of 40 attempts. I would have liked to shoot a little bit more, but the fact that we had 30 assists and 41 made field goals, that's pretty good, almost 50% from the field, like I said. And then from the free throw line, we were pretty good. So better with our turnovers in the second half. We had 9 in the first and 7 in the second, so pretty good. We just had to make sure that defensively we were better. Defending pick and roll, and then in that fourth quarter, I think we let them score too easy. They made a few threes, and we didn't control the game at the end, but I think it's good for this group at the end to go through late game execution and controlling leads and so on and so forth. So very proud of the group. You see it with 5 guys off the bench with double digits, and 2 other more with almost double digits. So very, very good team performance.
You mentioned just the bench, 66 points, and a lot of those guys stepping into having new opportunities, some extended amount of minutes. Just what type of impact and what stood out to you just from the way that they were able to settle in and get things going, and then also how has the chemistry evolved?
Yeah, I think you can see the chemistry. They have fun. They support each other from the bench, and they play hard for 48 minutes. It's not perfect, but I think you can see how, these guys are getting more comfortable and getting better. And like you said, now we've seen a little bit more minutes of these guys that haven't played throughout the season, and it's just great to see. Great to see that they're trying to play the right way, and again, their intentions are the right ones.
We talked about getting an opportunity to see some guys. I mean, the only guy that didn't score was Reese, but, I mean, he had 10 assists, 1 turnover. What have you seen from his growth, rookie, to be able to come out and play like that?
Yeah, I think 10 assists, 1 turnover is impressive, but his presence defensively, the amount of deflections he had and how active he was, how disruptive it was, and I think he made winning plays, the whole night. I know that everybody looks at these numbers, but the defensive numbers that you cannot see on the box score, I think this was his best game by far, best game of the season.
And with Dariq, I mean, I'm sure sample sizes may play part of this, but the way he is shot when he has been up here for you guys seems to be better than he shot for Long Island. I mean, is that just a random and small sample size, or is it based on when he's been playing? Is he asked to just do more down there because there's less talent, or?
Yeah, if I ask the smart guys that support me, they would say small sample size, but he's done a good job just letting it fly, and he worked with the coaches. Travis does a great job with him, and just trusting that the work that he puts in is going to show up in the game, and right now he's been shooting very well. So, his work in Long Island has been equally great, and those shots and those minutes are valuable, and these shots and these minutes are very valuable too.
Before the game, you talked about how this is not the end of the season, it's one game, and this summer is just going to be so important for everyone to get better, and organizationally, individually. When the team plays like this together, as you mentioned, and sharing the ball and, effort, playing the right way, why and how does that give you confidence that this summer, this important summer will be a positive for you? What about it is long term?
I think the way I see it is these guys are driving the culture, and when you bring new younger guys or just new players or whatever the adjustments are, because those things are not out of my control. It's good to keep taking those positive steps, and I think it comes with the sweat equity, being there with the guys, and having a good gym with good energy. Being available for them, getting better, going through summer league, getting ready for a new season. So those steps are the right ones. Those steps are important. Obviously, everybody needs to work on their body, get rest, be with their families, so on and so forth. But I think for obvious reasons we get into a very important summer, and it's going to be excited. Me, at least, I'm very excited because it's like, continuity. That's what we want. We don't want to do something in one season and then start over. Like, this is, a good beginning. These guys are driving it. They're doing it on their own, and that's, who we want to be.
Sure, there are so many different moments throughout the game where you could see just the celebration and the joy from a lot of the players that aren't playing when these guys made some big-time shots. What have you seen and made from some of the vets and the type of energy that they bring, and how important is it to have on the bench for these guys to kind of get going?
Yeah, I think the engagement from everybody it's good. You don't see guys yawning and, wanting the game to be over. I mean, you can see it sometimes. I mean, I'm being honest, or guys rolling their eyes and don't want to be there. Like, if you don't want to be in an NBA game, I think it's, in my opinion, that's, kind of crazy, because those opportunities don't show up every day. So the fact that these guys are playing, and then you see Dayron on his feet all the time, D'Lo talking to the guys, and Cam Johnson talking about a play, and then Nick, who, he didn't play his minutes, played at 17 with 13 points, did a great job, but it's good for these other guys to close games. And Nick is on his feet, and he's talking to them. Same with Trendon, same with everybody else. And I think that's the definition of, what we're trying to build, and doing it together, and, building those relationships and that chemistry.
Trendon, the three-pointers, once everything kind of got going there, was there anything that you guys changed or did differently to get the looks that you guys needed, and how contagious was it?
I mean, I don't know if there's anything we did different, but, I think tonight we had 16 turnovers. Last game we had like 24, if I'm not mistaken, and he was just telling us, if we cut some of those turnovers and just shoot the ball, and, we might have won that game last game. But so I just think, just playing the right way, and just, trying to find guys and just spray it out and shoot it. He's just screaming, let it fly tonight. So we did.
Trendon, when you, as one of the older guys that was out there, you're kind of a veteran when you look at some of these guys that's out there.
All right, 24, I take it.
Yeah. When you look at some of the development on some of the younger guys that are now getting an opportunity to get out there and play, just how valuable is it to see the kind of minutes that those guys are getting, the kind of energy that those guys are getting, to kind of set, I don't know, the bar, the standard for what you guys want to be doing?
Yeah, it's big time. Like the last time I was up here, I said, what Jordi's trying to, build here, and what everybody's trying to build here doesn't happen overnight. And, with opportunity and time, and, them being able to mess up and, just correct their mistakes and play through some of their mistakes, I think it's big. And, I've been in a position that some of them are in, just getting into the league and, getting a chance to play towards the end of the season, a lot of minutes, and you just got to take advantage of it. I think, a lot of guys doing that, and, I think just everybody coming from Long Island, and, they know what we're trying to do, and they know what we're trying to build. So, I think it's big, and it's going good.
Trendon, it seems like, the past few games, you've been one of the main guys that's been able to, attack mismatches and get to the rim, get to the free throw line. What have you been seeing out there that's allowed you to take advantage of those mismatches, or just being the guy the team can rely on to, get a bucket?
Honestly, I'm just hooping, bro. Just taking what, taking what the defense give me tonight. I didn't, only miss one shot, but, just still trying to be who I am, man, get my guys involved and be aggressive for myself. And I think, that's been my same mindset the past, pretty much the whole season. But tonight I was just, efficient, and was able to get some ones to go. And, but that's that, Jordi trusted me to make plays for myself and my teammates. So, I think that's just, the trust we didn't build over this season. And like I said, I'm just hooping.
curious what your reaction to Tyson having that hurdle over the fans and missing everybody.
Right.
What did you see on that?
That's Tyson. Tyson gonna go hard, man. Tyson gonna play hard, give his body up. You know what I mean? So I wasn't surprised. I heard the whole jam was like, ooh. I was just making sure he was all right. I didn't want him to hurt himself, but that's Tyson though, man. Tyson gonna play hard, and Tyson gonna give it his all. So shout out Tyson. Shout out Tyson.
Dariq, for this offense, the way that things started in that first quarter, things just kind of opened up for you guys from the three-point line. Just what was it that changed for you guys as a group, and how was that contagious?
I feel like we started to trust one another. We started to, instead of, trying to beat the guys over there in the Pelicans with the dribble, we started to try to beat them with the pass, kick aheads, just moving the ball really well. And tonight we shot, I think, it was 43 or something, 40-something from three-point line. So, things were going very well for us tonight. And, just got to look the feed off that going into the next game.
What was it that kind of got you going and helping you find your rhythm? What were you reading with the defense?
Just sprinting, getting to my spots, not trying to, be the last guy up the court, making sure I had whatever I was, getting my feet ready. And then, like I said, my teammates were finding me. So them finding me, sprinting to my spots, getting my feet ready. So it was just one of those games where, like I said, the rim was just, looking big.
Dariq, the way, this may be sample size, but the way that you've shot up here, you've shot even better up here in Brooklyn than you have in the G League in Long Island. Is that sample size, or are you just being asked to, do less, like less shooting off the bounce? How do you explain that?
Two different games. When I was in Long Island, like I said, I've been out for 2 years trying to get my body back. When I was down in Long Island, that was me trying to do things that I knew I wouldn't possibly be able to, have the chance to do this year up here, which is, a lot of off the dribble, learning to beat guys off the dribble and stuff like that, just getting comfortable with my body again. And then up here, coach is very, he's very out loud with what he wants. Shoot threes, play a lot of defense. He wants like 55, 53s a game. So for me, that's just, something when I hear that, I'm going out there, trying to, any shot is a good shot, I'm going to take it.
Have you allowed yourself to just reflect on, now that the season is coming to an end, I know we're not quite there yet, but reflect on like your first 2 years as a pro, or is that something you're kind of waiting to do until we actually get to the end of the season?
Yeah, I feel like I still got, like I said, some ways to go. So I feel like I'll take all that consideration until the end of the season. I will say it's night and day, like I said, for me, just, trusting my body and stuff and doing things that I haven't done in 2 years, which is amazing for me, and I'm sure it's amazing for the coaches and stuff to see.
Hey, Dariq. So Jordi's talked a lot about how, the season doesn't just end when the season ends. So with that considered and these next 3 games, is there anything specific that you're looking at with your development, kind of that you're targeting that, you want to make sure you're going into the offseason doing well?
For me, it's going to be continue to, take care of my body and conditioning. For me, that's gonna be big for me going into, like you said, the off season, whatever it may be, doing whatever I can to make sure, like I said, next year I'm coming in and there's no, thoughts or talk about me being in the best shape I can possibly be in my life. So just taking this summer, like I said, one of my first summers since high school, being able to, go out there and train, work on things. So just taking advantage of this summer, like I said, and making sure I come back, even better, even stronger.
Dariq, the last couple of times we've spoken to you, you've talked about how you're trying to, get yourself back in the rhythm, especially after the past couple of years you've had. When you compare where you're at physically right now versus, say, when you went to college, based on like a percentage or anything, how close do you feel to being that guy you were coming out of high school?
Well, I feel about better now than I did in college. In college I was hurting, but it's there. I feel like the last step for me, like I said, this is going to be an important summer for me. I haven't been able to, since I've been hurt, I haven't been able to just work on those things, which is, getting my athleticism back and, just doing certain movements. So, like I said, just me attacking this summer is going to be really important for me and being able to, like I said, listen to coach when we have exit meetings and whatever he want me to do, making sure I implement that into my summer routine so that I'm coming back stronger next year. But like I said, everything, I definitely feel it coming. I'll say about 90%.
Just to kind of build on that, I know we've talked about it a lot, but how has going through that process of having to play and having to train when you don't feel like yourself, how has that changed? I don't want to say made you more motivated, but if it's changed your motivation at all, working out, attacking the summer, have you noticed, I guess, like a before and after, just a different mindset that you have to have having gone through that?
For sure. Like I said, coming out of high school, is it that you're asking?
Just any time since you've been doing
Oh, yeah, I mean, like I said, coming out of high school and college, it was more so I was rated as the top guy, one of the top, supposed to get drafted, whatever, I was supposed to get drafted. So the mindset you had of course, it's going to continue to work, but, really now that I'm going through these injuries, I've seen not to take it for granted. I've seen that it can be taken away from you at any moment. This NBA, the way your career is going can change in the snap of a finger. So I just started to not take it for granted and make sure each and every day I went in there and tried to get better. It's a lot of people in this world who love to have my spot and had this place in the NBA. So I try to remember that each and every day.